Well, we're here with MacKenzie Porter. Lovely to
Hello.
have you here today. How are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. It's a really big day for you today. You've got your brand new release out, your new track, as well as a new collection of songs, all released today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically what we did is we decided I've been putting out singles for the last 2 years, just like song by song. And so we all wanted them to live in like one spot as like a EP album kind of thing. So we were like, let's do put out a collection of everything we've put out, and I've had a couple or three number ones off of it. And I was like, well, I can't just put out like no new music. So I was like, I really wanted to put out this ballad that my team's been kind of like not wanting me to put out a ballad for a while. And I'm like, it is time for a ballad. So we added a new song on there called "The One," which truly I think is like one of my favorite songs I've ever written. Um, and it's just kind of a thank you for the last couple of years. I'm wrapping up these 2 years of work. We're doing a whole brand new record next year, so I wanted to kind of like wrap this up in this chapter up and move on to the next one.
Fantastic. You mentioned it's one of your favourite tracks you've written. Can you tell us a bit about the creative process, what went into writing it?
Yeah. So I co-write in Nashville all the time. I mean, I do that 5 days a week when I'm not doing stuff like this or on the road. And I was in the studio with this iconic writer named Tom Douglas, and he's written like songs like Miranda Lambert's "House That Built Me" and just like so many great country songs. And we were writing, and to be honest, like we didn't have the concept of this song. We didn't have a title, nothing, but we were just kind of like jamming. He was sitting on the piano, and there was two other writers in the room as well, Claire Douglas and Madison Kozak. And I don't know like where the hook, the one before the one, like if it came out of me, if it came out of one of them, I can't remember. But once somebody said it, we were like, that's what we want to write the song about. Like that's our concept. And it really just it wrote itself within like 30 minutes. It was done, and we had it demoed right away afterwards. And it just means a lot to me. It's basically about like being the person before the person they marry. So like I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship where somebody's like, I don't want to get married, that's not my thing. They break up with you, and the next person they're getting married to. So that's kind of what it's about.
Fantastic. And it all came together quite well and easily by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we kind of like struggled for the first maybe like hour of like coming onto a concept or a hook, or even just like what direction do we want to do an up tempo song today? Would you want to do a ballad? But once we like landed on this idea, it really flowed out really naturally and fast.
Fantastic. And start onto the collection that you've released as well. You mentioned it's a series of the singles. It sounds a bit about the inspirations, sort of the variety of inspirations behind those singles and behind the collection as a whole.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, it's funny, like I just got married, but a lot of the songs on well, every song on there, yeah, every song on there is like a heartbreak song. But I wrote a lot of it before I got married, and that's kind of why I'm wrapping up like this chapter.
Mm,
But it's a lot of just like discovering, what's right and what's wrong in a relationship, and getting hurt in relationships and getting pissed off in relationships. It's kind of just like, I guess, all based around like heartbreak.
yeah. Okay. And one thing I saw you mention in a video was you said that when you moved to Nashville, you wanted to find a team that you could work with that all shared your vision and same vision. What's that vision? Can you tell us a bit about that?
It's hard to like put I guess like a it into like one sentence, but like my producer, Joey Moy, he just got like my sound. Like he's like, I know you want to be like a progressive country, like with pop elements, and like we put in like loop drums sometimes, and then there's real drums in it too,
Mm,
but then like the lyric is always very country based. So they kind of just got that. They got that I wanted to be like, I'm never going to be the girl that's like in cowboy boots and Wranglers. Like that's just not my thing. Like I'm definitely a little bit more like fashion forward. They got the vision of like everything that I would say, and like even through my music videos, like this is what I want it to look like, and they'd be like, yeah, I love that, and they would bring ideas to me that I loved. So
yeah,
we were just on the same page in like the style of how I wanted to be as an artist.
perfect. And you mentioned like pop hooks and so on. You've had some incredible success recently with a crossover remix you've done.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd like to repeat again? Can you see yourself moving in that direction, even just now and again?
I mean, maybe like now and again, like I do feel like a lot of country acts are doing that where they're still based in country all the time, but people like, pop radio is like popular music. So country music is getting more popular. And so, you're seeing people like Dan and Shay or Maren Morris, like who have massive pop hits, but they're country songs
Mm.
and people like them. And so, yes, I do hope that, my country music gets popular enough that pop radio keeps playing it. Um, but that's another thing, like, that my label came to me with. Like, that wasn't my idea actually to take that song to pop radio. Um, and they're just really progressive like that. They're not like, it's a smaller label. Like there's I don't even know, like maybe like 10 artists on here, but we don't have to like wait for like, 30 big 50-year-old men to like tell us what to do. Like we have a small team, we make decisions together, and then we don't have to wait. We can just go and do it right away.
It sounds like a winning formula.
I think so. I think so.
Right. And you mentioned about your collection, Drinking Songs, that it sort of marks the end of one chapter musically.
Yeah.
So what's the next chapter for you? What does that hold?
I'm really excited about it. Obviously it's just like all brand new music. We're gonna do a collab on it. Like, I'm still writing it. I feel like I have maybe like 5 of the 12 songs I need. So I still have some writing to do, but we'll start releasing the first few as singles again. Kind of like this is kind of the world now as
Yeah.
people do a lot of singles and then they package it together. So it will be like a full length record though, which I'm really excited for because I haven't done that for a long time.
Do you have a target date for when you'd like to get it out there?
I mean, I would love to get it out like in the summer, but to be honest, like probably I don't know, I guess because I need to tour it. Like
Mm.
that's would be the way to like really push it as an artist.
Yeah.
So I don't know when shows are going to open up. I don't know when the world is going to, you know,
Yeah.
figure figure its stuff out.
Definitely. Hopefully soon.
I can't wait for shows to start back up in a safe way or like I know people have been doing like pod shows where people have to stay in their pods or in their cars and I would be very into doing that again too,
Yeah.
hopefully.
You say you must miss the experience of being on stage and performing live then.
I really do. Like, I miss everything about it. I miss my band. I miss, meeting new fans, seeing ones that I've known for a while, performing, seeing people, sing it back. I was even telling my manager today, like, I actually miss like airports and flying and like not getting sleep. Like, I miss that whole life kind of because I just feel like, in March at the very beginning, it was like my whole year looked one way. And then obviously, this is everybody is in the same situation. But, it was like just a second and everything just stopped and like
Yeah.
every gig fell off the calendar and it was just such a mess, really.
Yeah. Because you had an incredibly busy start to the year, didn't you?
I like January, February, I probably took 50, I don't even, maybe not 50, there's not 50 days, but like 30 flights. I took so many flights. Like we were flying every single day. How I did not get like super sick being on that many flights, I don't know. But yeah, we were so busy. We were playing shows every day. And that's really how the rest of the year was looking for
Mm.
me or was supposed to look for me.
Yeah. Do you have any tentative plans or any idea of what you'd like to do once things get back to normal in terms of live shows?
Yeah, so like we are rescheduling like all the festivals and all that kind of stuff that was supposed to be this summer, for next summer. So I'll be on all of those. We're talking about me doing my own headlining tour. But it's pretty hard to like book anything right now because the
Mm.
venues are still closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're figuring out like everybody else. I mean, it's just such a weird time.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, once it's back to normal, would you like to get over to the UK to perform? Is that
I
on
would
your?
love to, like love, 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 love to. We had a few different shows lined up. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but excuse me, I was supposed to come over there, and obviously that got canceled too.
Well, fingers crossed it'll happen soon. Really
I
mean it.
know, I know, and for everybody. I mean, I know like this everyone's just like, I sound like a broken record because everybody's in the same boat.
I mean, you mentioned live shows and performing live. What's it, just thinking back to when you do perform live on a stage and when you do your virtual shows, because I know you've done some virtual shows. How does your mindset change when you're doing them?
The virtual shows?
Yeah.
Or
Well, the
oh,
difference between the two in terms of your mindset and your approach.
oh my gosh, like so different. Like, I mean, a virtual show, I'm like in my living room with my husband playing guitar. Like obviously my band members at one point, I'm seeing them now, but at one point we weren't seeing each other. But a live show, it's like, lights and production and, we have a whole rig set up. It's like such a big thing. And living room stuff is just, I don't know. It's fine. I'm glad I can still like connect with people and play music, but it's not the same like staring at a screen performing to like staring at faces of people and touching their hands and like connecting with actual people.
Yeah. I mean,
you know
do you feel any sort of different pressure when you're performing virtually, though? In some ways, is it a bit more? I always imagine in some ways it might be a bit more difficult because you're not getting the feedback from the fans immediately. You're not seeing their faces. You're not seeing what's working. Do you find it more
Totally.
difficult?
Yeah, and like even like after you finish a song and you like strum the last chord and it's just crickets, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's just different. Like you're totally right. Like you don't get to feed off. You don't see people enjoying it. You'll see their comments and their little heart bubbles, but
Yeah.
like, that's not the same.
Now, away from music, obviously you've had a lot of success in acting as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the two, music and acting, feed into each other?
Um, well, obviously it's like all entertainment and like a way of like expressing different parts of yourself. Like I always say like music is like me and I'm like when I'm up on stage, it's like I am me showing people who I am. When I'm acting, I'm being somebody else, which I really enjoy. And like obviously I can pull parts of myself into the characters as well, but I love to like play very opposite characters. Like for example, on Travelers, my character is like a martial art specialist and a doctor and from the future.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm very like none of those things. But it was fun for me to play and like it was fun for me to have monologues of like medical speech that literally me as MacKenzie, I'm like having to Google every single word because I don't know what anything means. um, so it's just fun. Like I love to play those kind of characters. I'd rather get a script that like says, she's I don't know, like somebody hooked on heroin or something than like Girl Next Door. I'd rather play like an extreme character.
Brilliant. I mean, I know you're focusing on music now. You've got amazing releases out. Do you see yourself acting again going forwards?
I mean, I definitely do one day, not right now, just because, well, I mean, what this year was supposed to look like, I was not going to have any time to do that.
Yeah.
And going forward, when things open back up, I'm just really focusing on music. But I will say, like, one day in the future, like, yes, I would love to
That's
do another show or something like that.
fantastic. Well, as I say, your collection, Drinking and Songs is out today. It's a fantastic release. I love it. Do you have a personal favourite on there? Something that resonates with you more than the others?
I truly think that like the one, maybe just because it's new, feels like my fave right now. But also, these days has been a song that's like broken down a lot of barriers for me, and people have really reacted to it. So that also has a really special part. Like it these days is the reason for a lot of things in my career right now.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, MacKenzie, thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely chatting with you. As I
Thank you
say,
so
it's a
much.
fantastic collection of tracks, and good luck with it. We wish you every
Thank you
success.
so much. I
Brilliant.
appreciate it. Thank you. Stay safe.